The damp and phlegm-producing foods come from four different categories. Dairy is one. It's damp in nature, right? Dairy leads to a lot of mucus. It's very mucusy. When we get to about 12 or 13 years of age, we start losing the ability to digest milk. Sure, when you're a kid, when you're a child, you have that, you're growing so much, so it's really good for bone development, etc., etc. However, as we get older, we start losing the ability to digest this. If you're so can't live without dairy, the best thing to do is to have goat's milk cheese or sheep's milk cheese instead of cow. The reason is because goats and sheep are evolutionarily more closely related to humans, so the milk that they produce is more closely related to the mother's lactating milk of a human being. The second category is greasy foods, things which are super oily, deep fried, whatever it is. They're damp in nature, they are very phlegmy. Right? So too much greasy food, that one's easy to see, right? Yeah. Sweet foods, we talked about this. The way it gets processed by the pancreas and the digestive system is that it leads to dampness. Notice, eat a dessert and be like, oh wow, well, I guess that doesn't go for everybody. You may not notice it right away. So for instance, if you're someone who has phlegm, like you have phlegm that you have in the back of your throat that you spit out a lot, pay attention to if you eat sweet foods or greasy foods or dairy foods, is that phlegm worse? Do you have more of it? It does happen, right? It's almost immediate feedback. The last thing which we talked about is cold foods. Things which are cold over time will damage that digestive fire. Damage that digestive fire. If you do that, then the pancreas can't digest foods well, which over time will lead to dampness. Because it just can't process foods well. Food gets stuck. Anytime you have food stagnation in the digestive system, then it starts becoming mucousy. And that's a damp. Another way that this can happen, though, is overeating. And if you eat too much food, even if it's not any of these four qualities, it's not dairy, it's not greasy, it's not sweet, it's not cold, you just like to eat too much, same thing happens where you get food stagnation. And for the same reason, that'll lead to that mucousy quality being created.